Hi, I'm Grant, and earlier this week marks the 2-year anniversary of My Baby. And by baby, I mean Distortion for Emphasis' first album. And like a week ago, one of the songs actually gained some traction in Finland on Spotify. So since it's getting a bit of traction now, just a little bit, and with the anniversary and everything, I thought it'd be a fun idea to take a look back and see how much DFE has changed as a band and how much I've grown as an artist since that album released. Real quick though, we just released a song last week called Useless Alone. There's a link in the description, go check it out. Okay, so a bit of background on the album. It was done basically entirely by me, everything, because I'm better than everyone else, obviously. The only things I didn't do were the guitar part, thank you Mark, and the screamo vocals, which were done by an old friend from high school who I haven't talked to since we did the album, because I'm great at keeping in touch with people. Other than that, I'm to blame for the way it came out. I did the songwriting, the guitars, the bass, the drums, the singing, even though I could barely hold pitch, and the mixing and mastering and the technical things as well. Now I did it all myself because first of all it's a fun challenge. I wanted to challenge myself to see if I can do it, but also because I struggled for so long to find band members who had the same level of passion and commitment for being in a band and making music that I had, to the point where I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do all of this first. Let's first get like the songs and everything out there, and then I'll get the members later to learn the songs. Which, in hindsight, I'm very happy I did it that way. It skipped the whole, like, starting band phase of faffing around trying to, like, what's the band supposed to sound like, man, and things. And just, like, already having the ball rolling is easier to get other people to climb on top of the ball and help it roll further, I guess. Going into the album, I knew I wanted to have it as raw as possible. So that means I'm not gonna add any, like, auto-tune or melodyne, no pitch correction. I'm not gonna be detective the drums to have it perfectly on grid. It's purely me playing the instrument, singing, whatever, as I did it in the studio. I literally did it like right over there in my closet. I'm not gonna do any fancy editing techniques to make it sound better than it is. I'm gonna get good and just use the performance, because that's true rock and roll, baby. So that's just a bit of background. Now let's get into every song. Song 1, the intro song. Also known as, how ironic would it be to start an album with a song called The End? That's definitely not a My Chemical Romance reference. I basically just wanted to set the mood for the album with this, so it's just like a straight instrumental. There's no singing, no lyrics or anything on it. I was kind of inspired by a video of Paramore doing a live performance, The Final Riot. And there they started the show off by just this big instrumental thing that like builds and builds and builds, which worked really well for setting the mood for the rest of the show. So I kind of wanted to do that, but with an album. So this song kind of leads into the next song. Okay, track 2, You've Pushed Me Around for Too Long and I Think I've Had Enough. That's the last one with a stupidly long name, I promise. This was the first song I wrote and recorded and mixed and everything for the album. I did this back in 2021 for a college project actually. And this song, like, this was my get good, learn how to sing, learn how to pitch notes song. I remember sitting for hours and hours with like literally a guitar tuner plug and just singing into the mic to see how on pitch I could get it, because yo, that was the biggest struggle. I also had no idea what the song was about while I was writing it. Words just started like pouring out and I kind of just went with it. Weirdly enough, like only after the song released, then I actually only realized, oh, okay, so that's what it was about. So I probably just pulled like the lyrics or whatever from the ether or whatever subconsciously, or I don't know, some wishy-washy songwriter artistic bullshit. Track 3 is one that I'd say probably still holds up today. That's Insane. Isn't that insane? So the first version of this song was actually written way back in 2020, and like it went through so many changes before it came out the way it is now. Like it's got a ska guitar hook thingy-majiggy in the chorus that was not present at all in the first few versions. Also, I can't explain, but in my headcanon, Insane is married to the next song on the album. I can't explain it how or why. It's a This Is How I Disappear and Sharpest Lives moment. Track 4, Slow. This is probably the roughest song on the album. Man, pitching the the vocals. So one of the guitars I recorded had like really bad intonation problems, so there's always like something that's slightly out of tune on the track as well. But in a weird way, it kind of added to the song and added to like the DIY rough raw sound that I was going for when I started this album. There's still parts of the song I like though, like the timing changes going from 4/4 to 6/8. Was it 6/8? No, it starts at 4/4, goes to 6/8. Yes. So the side chaining on the guitars in the intro part, that da-na-na-na-na-na, like the guitar dipping in and out, I always thought that was really cool. Track 5, Slice and Dice. And I swear I forget that this song exists every time it pops up. Probably the most filler track on the album. I mean, it's a halftime rock song. I don't really have anything interesting to say about it. I mean, Mark did all the lead guitar parts on this one, so first credit to Mark. All in all, Slice and Dice exists. And good on it for existing. Track 6, These Pieces, the obligatory sad acoustic ballad thingy-majiggy. Also the least streamed song on the album, probably because it's such a downer. This is the only song in DFE's entire discography that we've never played like a version of it live. I wanted to at one point, but I remember pitching it to the band and it's saying, okay, we can have a set like indoor, very intimate, just me and my acoustic, and they all said, no, fuck you. That's stupid. Probably for the best. I mean, we bump people out enough with our songs already. And in studio, Mark was the one who recorded the acoustic guitar, and he did it perfectly because it's the performance is so imperfect. It's exactly what I wanted for this song. I wanted this to be as stripped back as possible, just raw as is. You can hear with the vocals as well. It's very intimate. You can like hear my lip movements and things like that as well. It's almost like climbing into your ear. I'm doing that again. I don't know. I think like making it more imperfect makes it more honest in a way. Even with like the piano part at the end, I even played some notes like intentionally out of time just because like it adds to the rawness of it in a way. Also, it's just a kind of like weird thing where it's like dragging along slightly behind the song. I kind of just thought that was cool. Okay, enough Depro. Time for the biggest hits of the album. Temporary Remedy. This was the last song that I finished for the album. I remember while I was busy writing it and recording it and thinking, well, this is just going to end up being another filler track. But then somewhere along the line, something clicked. I think it was with figuring out the lead parts for it. And something just like hit me. It's like, yeah, this is it. This is the sound that I was aiming for I don't know how long in my songwriting. The way like the melody and the harmony and everything just came together and made it sure that this is a certified hood classic. Still to this day, for the few times that we perform live, it's still our opening track. The hook Run and Forget Tonight is perfect for just like, welcome to the show, forget everything tonight, let's run and have fun, I guess. Oh, and there's also a music video for it that definitely exists. I can't watch it without cringing anymore, but there's some funny moments in there if you're ever like curious about DFE's humble beginnings and the original band members just like fucking around, and this scene with me and Rulof in a bathtub. Track 8, Locked. The other track... A pigeon just fucked into my window. The other track where Mark has a guitar solo in. And what a bitchin' solo it is. This one is also kind of just like a forgettable, fillerish one, I guess, in a way to me. I don't know, it feels very 2010s pop punk in the most generic way possible. Very much like Neck Deep and State Champs, but all their filler tracks into one. You get locked, I guess. This is the other one where I had someone else doing the backing vocals and that one screaming part as well. Similar to Insane, I also originally wrote the initial version of this song back in 2020 and had a few changes. Hell, this might even be before 2020. I think this might even be 2019. But I had so many changes like leading up to how it came out now, but not quite as much as Insane changed. It was still gonna be just like a pop punk song. Okay, last track, Bleed On. To this day, still my favorite DFE song. Its mixing isn't great, the drums aren't in time, the vocal pitching is probably off, but despite all of that, I still have a soft spot for it. I wanted to have a song that perfectly like ends the album with a bang, And I think Bleed On does that perfectly. It starts off with a really like soft chorus and then eventually builds into this big ass instrumental, which is fucking awesome. It sounds like I'm like tooting my own horn here, but I really freaking love the octave solo and the guitar effects and the sound of everything in that instrumental part. And then it dips down again, and then it builds up, and then big finish. And I love it. And when we play live, this is always the song that we finish off our sets with. It's just the perfect finish of like, no matter what, I'll keep on bleeding and I'll never bleed out. How inspiring. Looking back at the whole thing, it's pretty refreshing to see how much DFE has changed and grown as a band. And since doing the album, I finished my studies and I got a diploma in sound engineering now, so my mixing skills and things have improved as well. But it's always nice to see where I started at one point and how much I've grown. I think it's important to look back on things like this and just realize you're not stuck in one place. Look where you started and look where you got now, and that kind of gives hope that you'll grow even more in the future, that this isn't final, that things are gonna keep changing, and that's kind of cool. Really, I think the songwriting is still like holds the same as songs are right now. Like the themes and things are still pretty similar in a way. I guess I still have issues. And while like literally barely anyone listens to the album, I'm still glad I put it out there. Because even if I get fans in the future from when we inevitably definitely blow up and start touring the entire world, it's gonna happen, mark my words. When that happens, new fans are gonna want to see where we started, and the like 5 people who've been listening to us from the start or have that like VIP access and feel superior, and they can start gatekeeping us. Anyway, go listen to Useless Alone. There'll be a link in the description to it, and for the album as well, if you want to go check out the album, that'll be there as well. It'd be actually kind of like interesting to compare the two. So like if you happen to listen to the album and go listen to Useless Alone as well, feel free to let me know in the comments and say like, do you think we've grown as a band for the better? Do you think we were better back when we released the album? I'm always curious and interested in hearing other people's opinions and stuff. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe and stuff, and yeah, go listen to our music so we can get famous, because that's definitely gonna happen. Okay, bye.